one that made such a highlight. And of course, the event that transpired there in regards to security operatives in trying to control the crowds and what went down, tear gas and bullets in the sky. Of course, that was part of the story yesterday. So whoever was part of it, welcome back. Whoever was part of every campaign trail for every presidential candidate, welcome back. Today is another day. Campaigns do continue because business as usual has to continue until we finish this whole electoral process. And a lot of conversations will be in line with that here on Good Morning Uganda. Welcome to the show. To be part of every conversation or what you have in mind, 0709 602592. It's the WhatsApp number that you should engage and text us. Share your opinion, share your compliment, share your point of correction as we do this thing called Life Together. Every morning we come to you live from Nile Avenue. My name is Julie F. Nantaba and I am with Joanne Murunji as we continue to pray for Robert, Uncle Bob, to be better. He's feeling a little unwell, but one thing we are sure of is the fact that he will be back in stronger energies and more powerful than ever before. For now, John, good morning.
Good morning, Julie, and good morning to you, our viewers. It is a wet start to the day as some parts of Kampala have received a very heavy downfall. That is of rain. It means everything is having a fresh and clean slate today. So get up as we inspire you. It is a Tuesday and you can choose to be happy, be kind, be blessed, or you can choose to be patient as long as you ask God to guide your life. So as we speak, Parliament has been recalled to process another Uganda shillings at 2.1 trillion loan items. Now the recalling of MPs from recess to come for the plenary sitting scheduled for today, in which MPs will be able to additionally receive the 2026-2027 National Budget Framework Paper, and this that will kickstart the formal consideration of next year's national budget. And also, there will be a motion for a resolution of Parliament to authorize the pre-financing the design and build of Kayunga-Bale Galiraya Road from 87 kilometers from gravel to paved standard. And in addition, there will also be a consideration of the motion for a resolution of Parliament to authorize government to borrow up to US dollars 162 million from Korea Export-Import Bank for the Makerere University Improvement Project. And also government, it will be sought from the MPs to be authorized to borrow up to Uganda shillings 1.602 trillion from Rand Merchant Bank and other financial institutions to finance the government of Uganda infrastructure and the National Budget Framework Paper 2026, 2027 to 2030, 2031. And yes, the Minister of Finance is also expected in the same plenary sitting for today to table the proposal to waive off tax arrears for New Plan Limited, and later on table the tax expenditure report for the period July 2025 to September 2025, financial year 2025-2026.
Right. Thank you very much, John, for that update. And I believe that you do have more stories from the local scene, so do take us away this morning.
Yes, so without any delay, I'm beginning with the presidential candidates rally. And after months of traversing the country soliciting for votes, the NRM presidential candidate Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has, on Monday, 15th December 2025, finally entered Central Region. Museveni has entered the central through Greater Mubende sub-region, in which it is part of the wider Buganda. And on his first day of the trial, candidate Museveni has received a heroic reception at Kasambia grounds in Mubende district. Now, yesterday evening, a campaign rally has also received the attendance of the first national vice chairperson, Alhaj Moses Chigongo, the second national vice chairperson, Anita Among, vice chairperson for Buganda, Haruna Cheine Kasolo, and other big shots. Others present included ministers Judith Nabakoba, Peter Ogwang, and Evelyn Anite. Anita reiterated the need to have a peaceful election process. Museveni's address began by saluting the brave supporters who were not shaken by the evening Monday downpour, with many insinuating about the poor performance of the NRM party in Uganda, pegging it on the support decline in the area. Museveni is quick to dispute the narrative by pointing at the massive voter manipulation by the opposition in the 2021 general polls. Now, according to the president, this time round, the opposition will encounter a mountain ahead as digitalization of the voting system will close up all the escape gaps. Regarding gaps and delays in service delivery in Mwende, Museveni partly blames it to poor planning and choice of the leaders. The president announced plans to elevate lower-level health centers and education institutions to better standards. Now, the NRM protection of the gains message will be preached in the district of Chankwanzi and Chiboga today as Museveni advances his campaign in Greater Mwende area. And moving on to the opposition of presidential candidates, the FDC presidential candidate Nathan Nandala Mafawi has promised to give Uganda police officers good salaries, construct for them staff houses, and educate their children. So it looks like he's saying they are not educated currently. But as he was addressing a campaign rally along Mulemba Road near Mbara Central Market, after confrontations with the police, Mafawi said his manifesto has got provisions for plans to improve the livelihoods of police and army. And the Alliance for National Transformational presidential candidate General Mugisha Muntu crossed with the MV Palm ferry to Buvuma, one of the hard-to-reach island districts. He made his first stop in Kilongo landing site, where fishermen told Muntu about the frustrating enforcement on the lake, which affects their daily lives. General Muntu proceeded to Kasali B village, where he discovered the limited infrastructure and lack of electricity holding back Buvuma district in poverty. On the National Unit Platform 2026 presidential flag bearer Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu campaigned in Lubaga Division, Kampala district, ahead of the upcoming general elections. Addressing residents, Kyagulanyi, together with party leaders from Kampala and Lubaga, pledged to deliver better public services and inclusive leadership without discrimination. Advancing, Buganda's Kingdom headquarters Bulange Mengo received National Unity Platform presidential candidate Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu on the visit to the Katikkiro Charles Peter Mayiga. Kyagulanyi arrived at Bulange and was received by various ministers from Mengo and then led into the Katikkiro's office, where they held a closed-door meeting. They later addressed the people who had gathered within Bulange compound. Katikkiro Charles Peter Mayiga stated that the kingdom will support a politician who respects their heritage and understands the wishes of Ugandans. Mayiga advised youth to participate in the election process and exercise their rights and choose leaders of their choice and use social media platforms responsibly. Katikkiro also condemned the conduct of some security personnel who violate the rights of citizens during the campaign trail and called upon the government to take action for our country to have peaceful elections. Now, the new presidential candidate, Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, commended the Katikkiro for speaking frankly about issues that affect citizens. NUP leaders, leader of opposition led by Joel Senyonyi, pledged to advocate for the Buganda issues. Kyagulanyi was accompanied by party leaders, including members of parliament, parliamentary aspirants, mayors, councillors, and supporters. Wrapping up what happened on the local scene, Uganda police have issued a security advisory ahead of the festive season celebrations, covering public safety, traffic management, and the organization of public events. The Traffic Directorate has launched an operation dubbed Arrive Alive to ensure road safety during the festive period. As the year draws to a close, Uganda police have released guidelines to safeguard the public throughout the end of the year celebrations. Police warn concert organizers against deceptive advertising, noting that failure to meet revelers' expectations can result in overcrowding and stampedes. The advisory also extends to religious leaders planning crossover night prayers to adhere to safety guidelines. Meanwhile, the traffic police have launched an operation Arrive Alive and have deployed breathalyzers known as Kawunyemo at various checkpoints to curb incidents of drunk driving. Police territorial commanders have been directed to reinforce district security committees. Now, Jolie, please take us through what is happening on the international scene.
Right, thank you very much, Joanne. And looking at what we have on the international scene, of course, we are starting off with a big story that is really covering up most of the international scene, and that is the shooting in Australia at the Bondi Beach. Crowds gathered outside the Bondi Pavilion in Sydney on Monday to honor the victims of the Hanukkah mass shooting, which left at least 16 people dead, including a gunman, and dozens more injured on Sunday. Footage captures residents placing flower bouquets outside the pavilion. Actually, this also includes the Prime Minister of Australia, Anthony Albanese, who was shown as well placing a bouquet of flowers at the pavilion. Now, with Australian and Israeli flags also draped across the gates. Mental health staff can be seen offering support to mourners at the site. This is all, quote unquote, this is all a result of anti-Semitism over the past 2 years. I hope this is a wake-up call to everyone around the world. The government, the media, everyone, people need to wake up because this is crazy. A South African tourist said, "How can you feel the need to come over and shoot people at a beach when they are just having a peaceful day? It's just awful." Now, this should have never happened. Australia is not like that. Another local added. At least 15 people were killed and over 14 injured after a gunman opened fire at Sydney's Bondi Beach, as thousands were gathered for the Jewish Chanukah by the Sea Festival. New South Wales Police subsequently announced that the gunmen were a father and son, noting that its forces had killed the elder of the two during the shootout, while the younger attacker was in critical but stable condition in hospital. Now, moving on, more than 403,000 people have been displaced across Cambodia as fighting along the Thai-Cambodian border intensified. In the Sreznam district of Siem Reap province, convoys of vehicles carrying displaced families were seen arriving at makeshift shelters where people sought refuge amid fears of further aerial attacks, as footage shows. A local resident described fleeing in panic as aircraft and drones appeared overhead. "Because of the planes and drones, we had to run and hide in the bushes full of spikes and big red ants. We could not eat any food or drink water," explained a nun. I'm very scared," another displaced local expressed. If it's shelling, it seems less of a problem. However, I'm afraid of bombs dropped from planes because you cannot fully hide from them. Scenes in Sreznam show families resting on the ground, preparing food and erecting temporary shelters on tractors as displacement continued to spread deeper into Cambodia's northwest. Some residents drew parallel with past conflicts. "I have experienced fleeing through many generations. I fled during the Khmer Rouge regime and during later wars as well," said Chenyin, an elderly local. All right, on to the continent. The leaders of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, gathered in Abuja on Sunday to discuss regional security, which has been impacted by political unrest in recent weeks. Footage shows motorcades of delegations arriving at the meeting venue, with representatives taking group photos and attending the summit. Nigerian Vice President Kashim Shettima greeted the officials and presided over the session afterwards. ECOWAS Commission President Omar Toure condemned the latest coup attempts in Benin and Guinea-Bissau, which saw unconstitutional change of government and elections, toppled by military intervention. The bloc's authorities also commended Nigerian forces for their leading efforts in ensuring security in Benin, while urging member states to uphold regional stability and safeguard civilians' rights. Security is not only a military obligation, it is a human imperative, essential for protecting families, livelihoods, and the dignity of our citizens, noted Julius Maada Bio, Chairman, President of the ECOWAS. Our unity is not transactional but foundational. We remain persuaded that fraternity, not force, must define the future of our community, affirmed Nigerian Vice President Shetima. Well, that brings us to the end of what we have on the global scene. Let's dive into what we have with the dailies. That is, if we indeed do have some dailies that transpired. But as it is, we have none yet. For now, let's have a short break as we enjoy some music. Now, this is a song that is rather interesting. For some, well, the title is Border, Border. But for some, it's a border, like the bike, the motorbike. Okay. But it's actually border, from border to border. I've walked from border to border seeking the truth. And the truth can only be found in your Creator. And that is the Lord Jesus Christ. That's the meaning of the song Border, Border by Michelle and D-Rain. When we get back, it will be a conversation in the real. 0709-602-592 is the WhatsApp number that you should save and be part of the conversation. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Yeah. We in a car, no one in a permitted. Speed 100% unlimited. Lavan, 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 and this one a real bad man. Meliteza amfuta laita Ori amajori awo Nkatini nechecho I cannot let you go. I love you, you should know. I know. Lava omukwano kwange kule yojoli Kati lava omutima kwange nako bulya oli Nkatini nechecho Nkatini nechecho
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning. It's a Tuesday, another day of the week. And of course, it also shows you that we are drawing closer to Christmas Day. Every day that passes by. It has struck me this morning that, goodness, the year was so fast. What an eventful year it was. But also 2026 is one that is starting off with events here in Uganda because it will be election season. 15th January is when we begin casting our ballots. It's just a few weeks away, a month, exactly a month and a day off until we cast our ballots. But good morning for those who are part of campaign trails yesterday. Welcome back, especially one that made headlines was that of Honorable Chagulanyi, who was here in Kampala, Rubaga and Namungona to be specific. And in Rubaga, he was at the Wankulukuku Stadium. His meeting with the Buganda Kingdom through the Katikiro of Buganda was one that made such a highlight. And of course, the events that transpired there in regards to security operatives in trying to control the crowds and what went down, tear gas and bullets in the sky. Of course, that was part of the story yesterday. So whoever was part of it, welcome back. Whoever was part of every campaign trail for every presidential candidate, welcome back. Today is another day. Campaigns do continue because business as usual has to continue until we finish this whole electoral process. And a lot of conversations will be in line with that here on Good Morning Uganda. Welcome to the show. To be part of every conversation or what you have in mind, 0709 602592. It's the WhatsApp number that you should engage and text us. Share your opinion, share your compliment, share your point of correction.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21 hash and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules, plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Genshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning. Welcome back from that short break. It's time for the real, but before we get there, let's also look at what the dailies have this morning. And the New Vision there has a headline, Audit on Government Land Starts. That's the headline in the New Vision, and irregularly acquired freehold titles to be cancelled. Now, a picture there of candidate Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Uganda is self-sufficient, says President Museveni. And other stories, Cardinal Wamala clocks 99 years. Wow, what a life well lived. And in matters crime, man admits to killing 40 girls. Goodness. Anyways, adult questions that stress teens. One, a feature that you'd want to look into. Chagulanyi Mafabi voters and salon SACCOs to get 85 billion shillings annually. And looking at CDF puts security on high alert for polls. And in the Daily Monitor, what killed Ugandans most in 2025? That is a headline there. Postmortem, a new health sector performance report shows that more people have died in hospitals between July 2024 and June this financial year, than in the same period in the previous financial year. And statistics there show that 51,718 fatalities, total deaths reported by hospitals in 2024-2025 financial year. 2023-2024, 47,999 and 2,106. Those are accidents in 2024 alone, and 2,198 malaria deaths in 2024-2025 so far. Well, those are some of the stories you can look for, and MIGA calls for peaceful election as well, and tenders in there. That is in the Daily Monitor. Quickly, John, what do we have in the rest of East Africa?
And of course, beginning go from our neighbors in Kenya, the Daily Nation. The big headline there is death on highways. Negligency. Authorities on the spot for failing to strictly enforce traffic rules. More people have been killed in road crashes this year compared to last year, with fears casualties will rise during the busy festive season towards year-end unless swift action is taken to restore sanity. There also in the Daily Nation are the last moments of Jirongo, the veteran politician who had dropped a friend at Naivasha Hotel shortly before he died in a road accident at Karai area on his way back to Nairobi. You'll find that story in there. And of course, learners open up on change of senior school pathways. Junior school graduates say their performance in exams, whose results were released last week, is informing their decisions to switch career choices. Now, officials say the students have a 2-week window to revise their selections ahead of grade 10 admissions, and that is next month. Still on the front page of the Daily Nation, there are resolutions of emergency government meeting over the alarming death toll. While Trafena speaks out on tree-hugging record strategy, and from the economy in Kenya, Cabinet approves shillings 5 trillion sovereign and infrastructure funds for growth. And moving on to Tanzania, the Citizen. Yes, the headline there is proposed rules seek to curb driver fatigue. Now, commercial drivers will soon face stricter limits on how long they can stay behind the wheel, and new regulations aimed at reducing fatigue-related road accidents and improving public safety. That story is on page 2 in the Citizen. While Mwambe released on bail amid alleged plot against police chief. While the East African Community Monetary Union delays persist, it is all in the business of the Citizen. And tread carefully on U.S. health aid arrangement. The government of Tanzania has been urged. You'll find everything in the Citizen once you grab yourself a copy.
Indeed. Thank you, John. Now it's time for that conversation. And this particular one is timely because it's December. And I understand some have traveled this week. Others are planning to travel to their villages next week. But the Daily Monitor has released a report that border and car crash injuries are killing Ugandans more than malaria. Yeah, let that sink in just for that second. But this report shows that new health sector performance reports show that 51,718 deaths have been recorded between July 2024 and June 2025, that financial year, as compared to 2023, which recorded 47,991 deaths between July 2023 and June 2024. Now, regional referrals, referral hospitals and general hospitals account for about 60.5% of all facility deaths. And the country recorded 7.2% increase in the number of deaths compared to the previous financial year, 2023-2024. 0709-602-592 is the WhatsApp number that you should engage. Let's have this conversation together, especially if you are an expert in any of these areas. If you're a road safety advocate, if you are a doctor, you are a caregiver, you've been directly affected by this. It would be nice to hear your opinion and your vantage on things directly through that number. But for now, we are sharing our 2 cents, of course, alongside you. So that same number is yours to engage. John, Doesn't this shock you in the first place? Borders and car crashes are killing Ugandans more than malaria. In other words, well, malaria too, you could say, is preventable to a certain degree. But for many road accidents, most of them, you realize that it could have been prevented, it could have been avoided before it happened.
Okay.
And this is what is killing Ugandans more than malaria. Let's look at the causes. And I, even before the causes, I see there's a lot going through your mind, so please, pour it out, pour it out.
Of course, Julie, border crashes and car rider accident and car driving accidents come from a lot of factors here in Uganda today. And these lead to severe injuries, head, limb injuries, with passengers and pedestrians mostly affected. And there's so many factors. One that we have to look at is human behavior. Right. How do we behave while we are on the road?
True.
You find riders and drivers driving or riding under the influence of alcohol or drugs. And they're okay. They will, no, just me, I'm a senior driver. Just about 4 bottles, I'm still okay. If I drove from, give an example, from Malaba to Kampala when I was intoxicated. So what distance are you telling me from town to, let's say, maybe Kawempe, where I'm staying? So our behavior, how do we behave? Before all while we are on the road. And then also the reckless driving.
Right.
Like you said, you had a conversation with some, were they tourists who say driving in Uganda is a sport?
Yes, it's such a sport. By the way, for most of the tourists who visit Uganda, you should take time to interact with them as well as you. They'll tell you that driving in Uganda is such hard work. It's such a sport. It looks like we're the craziest humans, and we deserve a Guinness Book of Records for being the craziest humans on the roads. At least it's a compliment, not a compliment at all.
It is, because
it's not a compliment at all, but the statement made by foreigners when they visit Uganda, surely to in all honesty. Fun aside and lightness aside, yeah. But please
and
continue.
I concur with you, Julie, because personally, if I travel out of Uganda, it takes me 2 weeks to drive on the road again. Because I'm used to the discipline abroad, I bring it here and you're like, everything is just a mess here. You know, when you're driving, you just keep on shaking your head horizontally. You're like, it was like you have to apply brakes for someone who is not in charge of their lives and they think they have a spare life. So reckless driving involves a lot of things, you know, not respecting the signals, could be at traffic lights or even the road signs or even the humps, the zebra crossing. And it boils down also to the pedestrians. Like I said last time, when the robot is green, you'll find a pedestrian crossing. But when it is red, they are standing there. When the green light for the pedestrian to cross is on, they are standing. When it turns red, that's when they remember to cross. And overspeeding, that's also under reckless driving. Right. That one is, I don't even to explain further about that. And also dangerous overtaking. You find someone overtaking in a bend or commonly known as a corner, yeah. And, you know, while driving, there's some signals or markings on the roads. The people do not take note of these markings, the lines that are put in the middle of the roads. There are times where you find the dotted, is it yellow or white? I think it is yellow, if I'm not mistaken.
It's white, especially on highways and climbing highways. There's a dotted one.
Exactly. What does it mean? Do these people know?
That shows you that it's a double lane, but
it's a climbing lane for the other person.
One lane is for heavy trucks or slow-moving vehicles, slow-moving traffic, and the other side is for faster, if you want to drive faster. And then the yellow marking, of course, to also guide you that it's a hill and there's traffic coming from upper hill. And
you'll find, Julie, that someone who is coming from the opposite direction, who has no right of way because they are not, or they are approaching a slope, is on the lane of the climbing lane for the other faster moving vehicles. So reckless driving has really contributed a lot of accidents to the Ugandans, and also people riding zigzag trying to beat traffic. Especially in the morning, I notice it a lot. People do not respect the traffic lights because if there is no one, we're like, I'm rushing to get customers. Why must I even respect the traffic lights? And besides, there is no policeman. You know, at times Uganda, we drive according to the traffic police. If they are not present, they are not visible, we're like, obusajja tebuliiwo obusirikale, we can as well just go through it. And also, was it on Friday, Julie, or Thursday? You hosted, was it Mr. Tamale of Country View?
Yes, please.
Driving school. We do not want to get proper training as Ugandans. Once I have a friend, could be a taxi driver, a boda rider who knows how to ride or drive, I will engage them to teach me, give them some fuel, and then after I hit the road. But attending driving schools is very essential because you get to know about the specific road signs, the road markings, what to do when. You ask someone, what does, if a signpost is indicating 30, and it is round and it is way, what does it mean? And someone will proudly tell you, you can drive above 30 kilometers. Yet it means you're not supposed to exceed 30 kilometers. Give an example, even on the express freeway, there are also demarcations, a signpost that shows end of freeway. But some people do not know the meanings of these things. If there is a T-junction that you're about to approach, do we know the meanings of these signs? I once asked a boda man, I was on a boda. I use them when traffic is intense. So he overtook from the left. And then after he quarreled at the taxi driver, I'm like, why are you quarreling? Don't you know it's you in wrong? He's like, no, he's supposed to extend a bit this side. I'm like, where? Did you go to a driving school? I'm like, I know how to drive and I know even how to drive a car. I'm like, so which side are you supposed to overtake from? And then he says, on my left. I'm like, you do not know you're supposed to keep left unless you're overtaking. So you're supposed to overtake from the right. But then you are causing chaos here because you overtook from the left. And this person was trying to create space for the oncoming traffic. So we do not have proper training as boda riders, as car drivers in Uganda. And also, we do not pay attention while driving. You get a call, it disrupts you, you know. These days, we no longer hold handsets, rather our phones while driving. We connect to our Bluetooth
devices, yeah.
Or we have the headsets, AirPods, we use the earphones. You can get information or any news and you get distracted on phone. Or maybe you have some stress, some depression while you're driving. So drivers out there and boda riders, please, before you hit the road, make sure you are in the right state of mind. Because it happens, Julie. You might be overtaken by thoughts, and you end up, instead of applying the brakes, you instead accelerate because you're having a lot on your mind, you are thinking a lot. So if we do not really put in mind our human behaviors, we shall continue having road accidents. Also, other accidents can be caused about inadequate safety gears. How many boda riders do you find with knee protective pads or even elbow protective pads? You find them with helmets, but they are putting them on the other way around. Or someone is putting it on just behind, and they do not want to use them. How many of us even use seat belts? There are some cars, the modern ones, once you're in the car and you're not having your seatbelt fastened, it will make an alarm or it will make noise. But people just, you can pass it behind yourself if you don't want to fasten it, and you find like that it's really, really terrible. Also, there is a poor infrastructure. I can take an example of currently the Natete Road, from the Natete traffic lights as you're approaching Busega. Oh my God. Right. Around Natete police station. It is really, really, really bad. And the fact that it has rained today morning, I imagine there are going to be a lot of slip-ons, especially from boda riders, as they try to maneuver through. And also, when we look at the high traffic density in times, have you noticed, Julie, when traffic is really intense, you find this when you find there's so many road accidents, boda and cars and pedestrians, and also cyclists. We should also consider cyclists. By the way, I fear the cyclists of Ugali. I do fear them because one, they are not operated with petrol or fuel, rather all diesel. So for them to kind of switch immediately during an emergency, I really find it so hard. Remember, they do not have indicators. They have to use hand signals.
The best they have are reflectors.
And for the cyclists,
the best there are reflectors on the
behind,
yes.
For some of them. But if you find these changes, it's really, really a bit minimal. And also age.
Right.
There is an age whereby we are not allowed to drive. If you're not yet the required age, like 18, why would you even try to engage? Because someone grew up in a garage, the cars are available, oh, my dad is a mechanic, I decide also to get on the road. And also, the time and location. Let's look at the weather.
Right.
If there is fog, do we know how to operate the vehicles while it is foggy?
Right.
Or when it's raining? There are some cars that have some functions. Once it's slippery on the road, you apply some functions. Do we even know these functions while we are on the road? So,
That
and
goes
for
back to
border
driving
riders,
school.
I don't know. I have a problem with border. Then there is tukutuku. Oh my God. Like, it's just so broadly.
It's quite crazy indeed, and some of the causes that I noticed therein, as John was mentioning them, when it comes to pedestrians, many of them do not know how to read the road signage. They do not know if the robot is green, I walk. If the robot is red, I stand.
Yeah.
If there's zebra crossing, many of the pedestrians actually are not informed and they just walk anyways. And I think there needs to be some form of sensitization at that. It looks like there should be a section for pedestrians in driving schools, but also poor individual habits. Many Ugandans are very indisciplined. And if you're late, you're a poor time manager. You want the rest of the world to manage your time for you by being rude on the road, yet actually it's just your indiscipline and poor individual management as a human being, but also having enough sleep. It's one of the things that Mr. Tamale of Country View Driving School mentioned last time, that having enough sleep is very important, because at the end of the day, you are the one operating the machine. And for as long as you do not have sleep, what's the worst that could happen? A lot that could have been avoided. And as Ugandans, many of us are very careless. And we are blatant even, and brazen even in our carelessness. We make these mistakes on the roads, and we also want to just, be blatant about it and act like duh.
Have you even encountered these people when they make mistakes? You find a border man insulting a car owner, and the car owner is also insulting a car, and you're like, oh my God, what is this? But also something I forgot to mention, Julie, is the financial pressure.
Right.
People competing for passengers, borders. A border man, if you're driving, a border man will come from right and immediately cross onto the left. And I'm like, do these people assume the car is not in motion? He hoots at you and you think he's forging forward only to come to your left because he's saying a passenger. Rush hours in the evening and in the morning for taxi drivers, it is just a mess.
Wow. Let's have a look at some of the comments coming through. Thank you so much for being on the show. 0709602592 is the WhatsApp number. And to read some of your comments, good morning, Uganda. I'm David in Kamucha. Ice Mark, Africa. It's true reckless driving. Ignoring road signs and also the state of roads greatly leads to accidents. But I appeal to me and other road users that let's take safety first before anything. That is very true indeed. And I do agree with you. Thank you, David, for getting in touch. Good morning, Uganda. I personally run a safety company, but it's so unfortunate in Uganda that safety is not given a priority, both by public and government. My view is that there could be a body formed specifically for road safety and mass sensitization funded by government. It's high time we got to know that safety comes first. This is Edson Mohanji, who is in Entebbe. And Edson, I do agree with you. You have a very profound and pertinent point there. And good morning, UBC. I'm Munyalo Godfrey from Mbale City. One of the causes of increased road accidents in Uganda today is driving while taking alcohol and drunk and poor roads at that. Thank you very much. Indeed, Munyalo, thank you so much for being on the show. 0709602592. Now, let's look at the effects of these road crashes and at the same time, what can be done?
Road accidents have devastating effects on the country as a whole and also on family and individuals, of course. And we can, first of all, what we cannot even refrain from talking about is the high mortality rate. Of course, there will be accidents. if we are not safe on the road, or if we don't practice safety, or if we don't take charge of our own lives while riding or while cycling or while crossing the roads as pedestrians, of course, there will be accidents, especially for the vulnerable ones. Those are the young ones, 18 to 44 people. So high mortality rate will also be observed. And also long-term disability. You might end up being amputated the leg, the arms, or even brain-wise. So we shall have victims that suffer long pain, more specifically, and this will also cause a bit of a setback for their families, and also the burden on health care, as well as the government, together with the Ministry of Health, have tried to ensure there is at least a good response, emergency response at regional referral hospitals and health center for 3s and so forth. A national referral hospital, but we are putting a strain on them. You cannot imagine, Dr. Kello told me, because he leads the emergency unit at Mulago Hospital, you can't imagine the number of people they receive every day from road accidents. It gets overwhelming for them. So it will cause a strain on health systems for treatment and rehabilitation. Right. When we look at the other impacts economically, of course, reduced productivity. If you've gotten an accident, the next day you're not going to work. True. And of course, there will not be a productivity. Some bosses are even very tough. Once you miss work, I don't know, accident, they do not want to listen to that. For most bosses,
the reality is you're replaceable.
You know that.
That's the reality of life. Someone comes through with a comment that says, border riders helmets are very weak. Okay. In case of an accident, the helmet can even speed up death instead of preventing it. They are made of hard plastic with very little sponge. So instead of protection, they cause deep cuts. At this point, the helmet is just there to obey the law, not to save a life. And this is very true.
And for that, then it goes back to what kind of helmet is someone supposed to have. Yep. Because, you know, we love cheap things. Someone might just go, as long as it's a helmet, and they do not put it on for themselves. They put it on for the traffic police, you can imagine. So I was still giving you the economic impact of road accidents. There is also a significant GDP loss. Because as Uganda it is estimated at around 5% of Uganda's GDP annually. That is the loss we get from having road accidents. And when it comes to tourism and trade, once the tourists keep on, you know, hearing about the carnages that we experience on the roads and the accidents, someone might be afraid, well, oh, if that is what is happening in Uganda, why must I even risk my life to go there if the accidents are really at a high rate? Like I said, for the family strains, financial and emotional burdens, imagine someone being bedridden for over 6 months, and you are the breadwinner of this family. What do you think and the woman is not empowered, or the children? What do you think is going to happen to this family? And also, it also slows down overall national development, because if you're a taxpayer and you decide not to run business, you're going to incur losses. URA will not be able to collect this sum. So someone is going to be saying, Joan, did you really have to say that? Yes, we need you people to pay tax. We need to pay tax for the development of the nation. And also, it impacts, whenever, Julie, the accidents, you slow down. Right. Us who come early to work. Once you find an accident and you planned that within 40 minutes I'll be at work, you'll be delayed for more. I don't know how long you'll be delayed. So the impact is really broad, but we can do away with these accidents.
Indeed, we can do away with these accidents. Reading some of your comments as we begin to close this. Good morning, Uganda. Currently, we have self-trained drivers on the road. Yes.
True. That's
very true. This is Isaac Biamjisha in Mbale. I am Bujingo. Traffic is the problem. In which way, Bujingo? Do elaborate, please. And thank you so much.
Traffic is the major problem.
How? Because traffic.
You see what he said?
Yes, he said traffic is the problem. But how? Because traffic is the flowing vehicles.
Is it the heavy one? Yes. I mean,
yeah. So please do elaborate. But thank you so much for being on the show. It totally means a lot that you are on. This is Yasin Moro. The solution for that, I think they should add traffic officers on the highways, which we well, on the highways, that makes a pertinent point at that. I do agree with that. And Good morning, UBC. I'm Rasul Idris from Zombo District. I want to take this opportunity to thank you presenters for the safety cautions. I want to concur with the ideas of using the roads wrongly. In some areas like Maram roads, it's what you meant.
Okay.
Maram roads, which is properly managed, people usually drive at high speeds. I want to encourage Ugandans to be vigilant during this festive season, and this is the time where people lose lives the most. Very true indeed. Alan Sempebwa, who says ministry, okay.
Is that
Good
the
morning,
spokesperson?
team. I know that it's the spokesperson.
Hi, Alan.
And all right, just to get what is being displayed here, it's not yet clear.
It is okay.
As we are, yes, Alan Sempebwa, thank you so much for watching the show. He's the spokesperson of the ministry, communications officer at the ministry, and lead at the Ministry of Works. And indeed, there is an outcry from the Ministry of Works, Road Safety Outreach, hashtag Safe Festive Season UG. High traffic volumes are expected during the festive period. We encourage you to plan your journey, rest adequately, and drive patiently to reduce the risk of crashes. Safe vehicles for a safer Uganda. That is a message from the Ministry of Works and Transport. Thank you very much, Mr. Sempebwa,
And Julie,
for sharing that. Yes, please. As we
about
begin to close.
Mr. Sempebwa's submission, I completely agree. I had a conversation with some bus drivers, conductors, and I was heading to Mbara over the way. So I asked him, so how many journeys do you make in a day? And he's like, as long as the driver is not tired, we can make a return journey, or if he's tired, we may not make a return journey. And I asked him, so how does your boss, your manager, know that the driver is tired? And it's like, no, he tells us. If he's tired, he cannot go. But at times, because of the money they get, they are paid per trip, per journey.
Right.
They might feel tired and then still insist that we are not tired, we can still go on.
There's no limit and supervision as to what time one is supposed to stop driving on the road, whether tired or not, which is a regulation that needs to be looked into. Now, let's bring this conversation to a close. Thank you so much for being on. And I think for me, what I would say is we have complained a lot about boda riders, cyclists, taxi drivers, but how about we take the weapons into our own hands before you take that boda as a passenger? Number one, do you own your own helmet? Leave the boda guy alone. It's his problem. You've talked enough. But do you own your own helmet? And at that, if the when you're taking that boda, have you looked at the state of that machine? Does it have one side mirror? Does it? Ask these questions. His appearance.
Do you know how rude these people are once you try to take precaution measures? Why don't you have a side mirror? Please build another one.
This has worked for me.
And they do insult by the when you take it's about speed if you don't want to get out.
As we close this, I'll share what I do. As I take that boda, we agree on the fare, and then I tell you, I do not overrun traffic lights.
Before you board it?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you agree to my rules?
Yes, madam.
Or no? If yes, we go. If no, and you're along the way trying to misbehave, I go off and I'm not paying.
How
That's
do you
what I
conclude
apply.
that fight?
You can try. At the end of the day, it's your life.
Yeah.
Up next is JMU Tourism Express. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules, plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year!
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archived stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Good morning, and once again, thank you for joining us on UBC. My name is Zakia Lucky, and we are on Good Morning Uganda Tourism Express. You did see what we had to adventure within Mungahinga National Park, and right about now we are on Lake Bunyonyi, the deepest lake in Uganda. Today we will be set sailing on the deepest lake, where every ripple tells a story and every breeze carries peace. So join us for a calming yet an eye-opening experience on this boat cruise. And with me is Mr. Ambrose, who is the tour guide on Lake Bunyonyi. He's going to be telling us about the history of this lake. We're happy to have you, Mr. Ambrose.
Thank you so much, Zakia. My name is Mumza Ambrose. I'm the tour guide at Lake Bunyonyi. Thank you so much.
Yes, so many people have heard about the lake.
Yes, please.
Of course, as the deepest lake in Uganda.
Yes.
Please give us a brief history about the lake.
Bunyonyi is one of the beautiful lakes that we have in Uganda, and believed to be the first deepest lake in Uganda and the second deepest in East Africa and Africa at large. This lake is believed to have formed about 10,000 years ago, when there was eruption of one of the Virunga mountains way back in 10,000 years ago, when the river Ndego was blocked from the other side when heading to Kisoro district, and the river was blocked from there, and then the water had no way out, so it had to reverse back, surrounding the hills that we are standing in the valley, hence the lake was formed.
When we talk about the word Lake Bunyonyi,
Yes.
Where does this derive from?
Yes, Lake Bunyonyi is the word is spoken by the people who live around the lake, are called Bachiga. These people, when they woke up in the morning and they heard melodies of birds, singing in the morning, that's where the name came from. Bunyonyi, meaning little birds. So it is the home of many little birds, and the researchers say it is the home of up to 200 species of small birds. That's where the name came from, Bunyonyi.
Bunyonyi, indeed, or Bunyonyi, just like in our local language.
Yes.
And when we to look at the activities that take place on this particular lake, what is it that you can tell the people out there that would entice them to come and visit this place?
Yes, we have many activities that you can do around Lake Bunyonyi. Bunyonyi being in the hills, you can do hiking in one of the hills. We have Chabahinga Hill. It's a hill that is favorable for hiking, especially if you want to see the whole lake and the islands. That's the hill that you do hiking on. Then we have boat riding, we have canoeing as well, and the zip lining. Especially canoeing is one of the favorable activities that we do here on Lake Bunyonyi.
Talking about zip lining, it is one of the things that we look after too, as the team is going to be headed there.
Yes.
Especially when you're told this is the deepest lake and you're told about zip lining on the deepest lake. It's one of the things that would scare you, but we are yet to experience it. Yes, so why would one choose to come to Lake Bunyonyi other than going to any other lake? What is it that is found here and you cannot find in any other place?
Lake Bunyonyi is one of the special lakes and one of the beautiful lakes that we have in Uganda, because Bunyonyi is free from bilharzia. Is one of the lakes that are free from bilharzia. So swimming can be done on Bunyonyi, not in the other lakes of Uganda. The lake is free from hippos and crocodiles, since it is not connected anywhere with the river Nile, or the Nile crocodiles come here. So the lake is very, very safe, at the same time very nice for swimming.
You just heard it yourself. It is bilharzia free, very free for swimming, no crocodiles. So like I told you, we are going in for the activity. Wait and see what we have to find within zip lining on the deepest lake again.
My name is Kakuru Jeremiah. I'm one of the instructors of here at Supreme Adventure Park, Bunyonyi. There is also Ronald, there's also Jeremiah. We are all instructors, and we are here to make sure that you are safe when you are doing these challenges or high lopes courses here at Supreme Adventure Park. We call these carabiners or hooks. On your waist there is a pulley, and the whole of this gear is called a harness. So let's go back on the clips. These clips are the ones which will be attaching them on a lifeline. When I talk of a lifeline, just a metal cable which is painted red. So when you look here, when you look around that tree, there is that lifeline. So whenever you see that wire, just put one of your clips to make sure that you are safe, right? So you'll be attaching them on a lifeline like this. If you put one here like this, you put the second clip like here, like this. And you are not supposed to unhook this one before you unhook this one, because if you go straight like this, now see, this one is pulling me back. So what I need to do, I first take off the one which is behind. I put it in front where I'm going. I take off the second one, still on the lifeline. I take off this one. I put it on this ring here. This one to here. Are you all seeing me well? Yeah. But when you reach on this wire here, if one clip is facing this side, if it's facing me, the second clip is supposed to face the other side. Why? Because if they're all facing in one direction, it will be easy for them to get out at the same time. Eh? But if they're facing different directions, it will not be easy for them to get out at the same time. In case if someone has called you to pose for the peak. Now from there, you hold either on the wire or you go holding nothing, like me. Until you reach on the next platform. Still do the same by taking off one at a time. You take off this one, you hook it on the second zip, in the second lifeline. You take off the second one on the same lifeline. If you reach on these obstacles, you hold one first. You put in your foot. You hold the second one, you put in your foot until you finish them.
Right after the experience, now we're getting to know how this felt for me. Of course, it's not my first time, but let's get to see. We had some cry, others were scared to go, but they did conquer. Let's get to hear from them. Share with us your experience.
Oh my God, it was not easy at the beginning because I was so scared and actually was regretting that I could maybe go back. But when I reached, it was a very good experience. Come and have an experience here.
Okay.
The experience was not an easy one. I felt like going back, but I felt like actually letting the ropes down and I fall. Probably they would like maybe give me a first aid. I've reached down, but it was impossible. You had to still continue and get the whole experience. But it's actually a good experience.
What was your experience?
My experience was amazing. The rope course is a challenge.
I'm told you wanted to touch water. That's all you needed.
Yes, that was my aim. I needed to touch the fresh waters of Lake Bunyonyi.
You can imagine what it was like zip lining on top of the deepest lake in Uganda. There's only one way to find out. Just come and experience it.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Of course, we have a very vibrant technical and production team here on Good Morning Uganda. They always make sure we smile and we do not fail the morning code. It is Tuesday and the key to success is to focus on goals, not obstacles. So have this in your mind as we go through our economic reporting this early morning. But first of all, welcome back from Tourism Express, and it is enthusiastically supported by Uganda Tourism Board. For those of you who are just joining us, good morning, and let's kick off with our banking sector. As government has recognized the Eastern and Southern African Trade and Development Bank for providing it with shock-absorbing finances worth $300 million during the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, as Uganda's economy enjoys recovery status since, new forms of development financing are required to sustain and develop African economies. TDB marked 40 years of development financing across the region, celebrating its role as a multilateral powerhouse driving trade, integration in Eastern and Southern Africa. Let's have a look at this report.
Something else. TDB, you have been a very good partner for Uganda in areas of sovereign support. In 2020, at a time of significant global economic disruption, the bank acted as a lead arranger for $300 million.
We continue to speak to our members to ensure that that ratification actually happens. We need all 52 or the majority of African countries to actually subscribe to this, because when that happens, then it becomes much easier. One of the things that we have been able to support are things like border posts, because you need to be able to move from one country to another seamlessly. We've supported from a policy perspective, providing technical assistance that helps countries create policies that have that ease of movement of people, of goods, and that needs to happen at every single border. The other thing that we need to think about is infrastructure. Do we have the right road network that supports the movement of people and goods across this? And that's actually something else that we are supporting in terms of inter-regional projects that connect one country and the other.
And of course, it is the festive season. It's no longer a rumor. We are inside, or we are already in the Christmas mode, and the festivities already have started. Here on GMU Business, we cannot let this festive season go by without giving you the Christmas magic. Now, downtown is buzzing with the Christmas spirit as crowds fill the streets to enjoy festive decorations and seasonal discounts. Shops are busy with customers. Other traders say that the actual purchases remain lower than expected. Let's have a look at the festive energy.
Downtown is alive with Christmas spirit. Streets are decorated with sparkling lights, colorful ornaments, and towering Christmas trees. Every corner seems attractive to visitors who capture photos to enjoy the festive atmosphere. Crowds are drawn by decorations, seasonal sales, and discounts in shops. Families, friends, and tourists are moving through the swarming streets. But traders note a concerning trade, where actual purchases remain lower than expected. Shop owners say that the people are reluctant to spend heavily despite discounts and promotions.
December nabadde tatuyisiza bubi bakasuma bagezezzaako okolaki okujja okutuwagirako. Naye abantu baffe sente zakenderamuuko bagula sente ntono naye nga badde bagezezzaako okujjumbira okutuwagirako okwo. Tubaagaliza ennaku enkulu muziyite mu bulungi n'ennaku z'obululu muziyite mu bulungi.
Some retailers still hope that sales will pick up as Christmas approaches. But for now, the high foot traffic has not translated into high revenue. They urge shoppers to take advantage of ongoing offers, stressing that festive discounts are still available on a wide range of items.
Christmas season, nendaba abantu baddukira nnyo mu byalo bagenda mu byalo ate nga twalese ebintu bya Christmas decoration nga tusuubira abantu bagenda tugulako naye ate ndaba bali mu kugenda mu byalo kati awo simanyi naffe kyakukola kyetulina okukola. Twasazeewo abantu basalireko ku bbeeyi y'ebintu basobola oba agenda mu kyalo oba asigala mu tawuni asobola okuba kyagula buli omu ne ssente ze aba asobola okugula.
Nals Bawini reporting from downtown.
Of course, traders there, yes, resenting the low purchasing power of the customers. Or is it just window shopping? Maybe we can hang in there for a while, and by next week, things will be better. But moving on, in the agriculture sector, farmers have appealed to President Museveni for support during this period when school children are on break. They say the president campaigns in Buganda sub-region could be utilized to address the needs of disadvantaged farmer groups and support their agricultural activities. Here is their cry.
Chadeva SACCO members and the Youth Integrated Development Organization YIDO are seeking government assistance. Most members are farmers who have not benefited from existing livelihood programs.
We started slowly, involving ourselves in local activities, and eventually we were able to graduate from a CBO to an NGO. So when we reached the NGO level, we had a very wonderful board which empowered us, and we started training and sensitizing different categories of age into livelihood programs or projects.
They say government intervention will help them benefit from local markets, especially while students are on break. Rising transport costs and declining crop prices have made it difficult for them to operate efficiently.
This project supports more than 3,000 members because it's a group project, it's a circle project, and if it is handled well, it can support so many youth in Kamocha, in Wero, in Mkono, in Wakiso, the way we have our groups, because it's a circle project. We all benefit from it, because if you look at only money lending, we tried circle projects in money lending only, but we have losses that come up due to our community that we work with, the community of the youth. When we invested in this project, we are getting something from the project, but we just need government support, like a tractor, which can help us have a bigger coverage, because we have over more than 20 acres of land here. But all we need is government input. If it can help us in machinery, in maybe a vehicle which can be helping us to transport these things to the market, then it will be better for us as a circle.
The farmers have formed circles through which they mobilize funds. Chadeva Circle, with over 500 members, wants government to increase funding to their circles and save them from lenders charging high interest on loans.
And in regards to our summit meeting reporting, Uganda's digital economy stands to explode as more creators register as former businesses at the inaugural Stanbic ongoing Digital Creator Summit 2025. Now, unlocking monetization, tax benefits, and structured growth to fuel the creative sector's role in national development. Let's have a look at this report.
Formal registration means that creators can access financing, build financial records, and pitch professionally to brands, turning viral videos into sustainable enterprises that shape conversations on social issues, culture, and commerce.
In other countries, the digital content creators are emulated because they make so much money. Why isn't it the case in Uganda? And that's where we want this dialogue, this convention, this togetherness to create a future.
Summit speakers stressed affordable data, safe policy frameworks, and monetization pathways as game changers.
You are digital entrepreneurs, in case you did not know that. And you are the future of Uganda's creative and digital economy. When you look at the cost, how the telecom costs their products and how much they price their products, we see some convergence.
Creator awards and paid opportunities will professionalize the space, while platforms like TikTok seek more local producers over consumers.
In this thing that we call our passion, our love with creativity, it is us to define it. Stop waiting for people.
The creators need to understand that they are building brands. Brands have two common denominators. One, they take time to build. Two, you need to build them in a way that is sustainable, in a way that is going to outlive your emotion.
This summit charts a path where registered creators drive ideation, development, and tax revenues, positioning Uganda's creative economy as a pillar for jobs, innovation, and global visibility.
Wadulo Mark there at Monyonyo for that financial report. But as we forge forward from our industrial sector, the State Minister for Investment and Privatization, Evelyn Anite, has cautioned manufacturers and importers to prioritize quality over price, warning that Ugandan consumers will reject products that fail to meet the required standards. Now, she asked the manufacturers to take full responsibility for improving quality, noting that existing laws remain firm and enforcement continues through the Uganda National Bureau of Standards. Let's have a look.
The State Minister for Investment and Privatization, Evelyn Anita, has called for quality products to facilitate sustained private sector investment. She says this remains critical in protecting consumers and strengthening Uganda's competitiveness within regional market.
Having that by policy, we already have that, the law is in place, but we're doing a back and forth and running with UNBS and Uganda Bureau of Standards. Is doing that back and forth, but these guys still run behind closed doors and do it. But also it's a mindset issue. We still have people who believe that what is made in Uganda is of inferior quality. That's not true. I want to tell you something. It is not inferior. We believe that when it is made by Mzungu, that is when it's a good quality.
Minister stressed that Ugandans are becoming more quality conscious and are willing to pay higher prices for products that meet their expectations, dismissing the notion that affordability alone determines consumer choice.
Manufacturing plant, you have to manufacture quality products. But if you want them to stay in the south of your factory, manufacture poor quality products. Ugandans, their problem is not price. Their problem is quality product. They can buy anything at an expensive price, regardless of where it is coming from. The only thing they need is it should be durable, it should be quality product. So the secret here for all manufacturers.
Minister Anita delivered a message at the same event where Pearl Liquors Uganda announced the introduction of 3 internationally recognized premium beverage brands into Uganda and the wider East African market. Company officials say the move reflects growing confidence in Uganda as a strategic entry point for global brands and regional distribution hub. Pearl Liquors noted that the introductions go beyond expanding product choices, citing employment creation, support for the hospitality sector, and the promotion of responsible consumption.
There are new products into the market. They have never been into the market, so that means we are usually bringing about taxes. Paying taxes to bring the products in, growth as well. We have had to employ a lot of people. People who are branding the products, marketing the products, while also people who are going to be supplying the product. So which also creates employment. So we are creating employment to make sure. But like I said, the end goal for all these products is to make sure that they are manufactured here in Uganda. So this is just a starting point. We have a lot of companies in.
And of course, let's have a look at the forex rates as they stood on 15th December 2025 by Bank of Uganda. Starting off with the US dollar, that was at a buying rate of 3,550.09 and sold at 3,560.09. And by midday, the rate of the dollar was at 3,554.82 and sold at 3,564.82. And by the closure of business, the dollar was buying at 3,556.09 and sold at 3,566.092. While the Great British Pound bought off at 4,751.64 and sold at 4,765.00. Whereas the euro buying rate was 4,171.82. And the selling rate was at 4,183.55. And the Kenyan shilling bought at 27.51 and sold at 27.59. Whereas the Tanzanian shilling was buying at 1.43 and sold at 1.43 still. The South African rand bought at 211.12 and sold at 211.72. Now, as we wrap up at the business segment here on GMO, well done is better than well said. We as business owners, in case you're beginning to venture into innovation, production or manufacturing, make sure you effect the strategies that you feel are going to keep you afloat business or are going to make you so competitive in the market. My name is Joan Murunji. Good morning once again. Coming up is Julie with the agenda.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules, plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
Pick of the day on UBC. Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah yo, baby don't know.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks, Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Our program of poverty eradication is a must. We want everybody to be involved.
Through the parish development model, Ugandans are starting small but impactful projects to improve their livelihoods.
When we give 1 million, we know it's not enough to do many things, but it's a starting point.
I'm a PDM beneficiary, a farmer. Your Excellency, I was given 1 million Uganda shillings from Kobil Kawo PDM Sako. Your Excellency, I got 20 bunches from my small piece of land sold, got 400,000.